Welcome. Well, this is for the young men out there, if they're listening or they pass by here. And I know there's a lot of young men out there nowadays that don't know their fathers, don't have a father, and they only have their mother. And your mother is not equipped fully to bring up a young man to be, balanced. And I've seen it a few times. I knew this young boy that was brought up by his mother and his aunt. This is in Canada, by the way. So I thought, I'll do a sort of manly thing and take him fishing out in the lake. So we went out there, and he was a timid boy. He was typical, being brought up by females. Wasn't a sort of a man's boy, Probably not his fault. Anyway, I tried to get him to fishing and that, but he was always a bit timid about the fishing as well. But he got into the fishing a bit. And he said to me, and I was asking about a few things, like I was trying to find out, what he thought. And he said to me that he wasn't sure. Now this boy was about 10, 11 maybe. He said he wasn't sure whether he should sit down to have a pee or stand up. And I knew the boy obviously had other issues as well now. But that's what it's like, see. I mean, if the boy had had a father figure there, he wouldn't have ever questioned that. He would have known, right? And that's the problem, see. And you boys out there that don't have any fathers, and you may never know your fathers. You may not be able to. Or maybe your father's passed away, and that's sad. But for those of you out there that sort of maybe don't get on with your father, or you think he's a bit of a, remember, he's just your father, and he's too human too. So he's got weaknesses and strengths as well. But your father is an important figure. So you guys out there don't know your father, and you maybe be able to find him, and maybe with a bit of work. Why don't you try and do so? Finding your biological father is very, very important to you. Not only do you find out maybe any medical issues that they may have, but also why you feel a certain way about things. Maybe he feels the same way too, and that's where you got it from. And for those men who take on other children and bring them up as their father, hats off to you. That is a great thing to do. But like I say, for young men out there, find out who your father is if you can. You only have to visit them once or see them once. Maybe it won't work. Maybe it'd be disastrous. But you see, things happen in life, and you always say, well, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next week. And it's too late then sometimes. Things happen. Just a little thought there, and the reason why I tell you that is because my mother and father were together, and then they were apart, then they were together, and they were apart. They would get together quite a lot, long times, and we, 4 children in our family. But the last time they split up, my father went to Canada, and my mother stayed in England, and I was in England with my mother, and then I became a young man. I mean, I grew up most of my life in Canada, but I was in England when I was a young man. And I thought, I'll go back to Canada and live there, and I want to see my father, because now I'm a young man. And I don't know what to think of my father now. I'm a young man. So I went over there, and I met my father again after many years apart. And it was the most amazing thing that ever happened to me. I could say a sentence, and he could finish it, and vice versa. Right? So it was really uncanny how close we were like that. Sure, we went fishing and hunting and drinking together, and we argued together too sometimes. And we were quite loud. I mean, I was like him, he was like me. Neither one of us were going to give. But the next day we just laughed about it. It was just a joke. But that's what I want you guys out there to... You're missing that. And it's the best time I've ever had in my life was with my father. And some of you guys may never even know that out there. But give yourself the chance too. So if you can find your father or find out something about him, make the effort before it's too late. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Thanks for listening. Bye.